Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today we're just hanging out in Minecraft and reading through some stories from Reddit, mostly the wild ones about toxic or abusive relationships. It's going to be a chill little video where we build, explore, and get into some pretty intense stuff people have shared online. Nothing too serious, just vibes and some storytelling. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. The past several months have been incredibly draining and hard for me. I'm not sure if I'm looking for advice or just a place to vent. My ex Tom and I had been together for about 4 years, and we were extremely happy together, or so I thought. We had been discussing the possibility of getting married, and even looking for a house for us to move into, but we were not living together. I was happy, and I thought he was too. We had a lot in common, never fought. We travelled together, my friends liked him, his friends liked me, our families got along together, etc. I could go on. Everything was fine until our last trip together. We went to a destination where I had always wanted to go, but because of cost and distance it seemed like something I'd have to wait longer to do. It was his idea for us to go here. We saved a lot of money and were able to make this 2-week trip. Once we got back from this vacation, things started to get weird. After we landed, the last time I saw him, he told me he was feeling unwell and sick from the trip and wanted to go home to sleep. I didn't think this was too unusual, so we said our goodbyes. I tried texting and calling him the following day to see if he was feeling better, and he didn't respond. I started to worry, but he finally sent me a single text saying he was fine but tired about 2.5 days after our trip ended. From there, our communication basically broke down. I can't say he fully ghosted me, because he would occasionally send me a message, and didn't remove me from any social media. From that point, I'd try to contact him by calling, texting, sending a message on Facebook, and he didn't respond. After about 4 to 6 days of no communication, he would end up sending me a couple of texts and then I wouldn't hear from him for several more days. What hurt even more was this ghosting period overlapped with New Year's, Valentine's Day and my birthday, days on which nothing happened, and he didn't even wish me a happy whatever. I felt like I was going crazy. I had no idea what was going on and just wanted some sort of answer from him. I was also extremely embarrassed to talk to anyone about what was happening. I stopped going out as much and didn't really see my friends for the 2+ months. He was trickle ghosting me. I found myself lying to my friends and family about his whereabouts, telling them he was busy with work, visiting his family, he was sick, or any excuse I could think of whenever I showed up somewhere without him. I eventually broke down. I contacted one of his good friends, who I felt comfortable with, and asked her to meet up with me. I told her that Tom had barely spoken to me in the 2+ months. He's only sent me a few text messages, and I have no idea what's going on. I told her I didn't know if he was mad at me, if we were broken up or still together, or if there was something else going on that I needed to know about. She looked kind of shocked and confused, and told me that Tom had told all of his friends that we had broken up, and that I was taking it really hard, and out of respect for me not to bring it up if anyone saw me. This was soul-crushing to hear, and I felt humiliated and worthless. I told her this wasn't the case, and that he never verbally confirmed that we were broken up. She said she was extremely angry at him and would talk to him. Throughout March and April, I felt like I was starting to heal some. I felt broken, but I started to pick up the pieces again and began to feel a bit more whole. I told my friends and family the truth about what happened, and they were nothing but supportive and helpful. Then I found out some additional information about why he ghosted me and what happened on his end. He had apparently been cheating on me for a while, not sure how long, but a little less than a year. I'm also hurt because I know the person he cheated on me with. She's an absolute garbage person, and I'm not saying that as a jaded ex-girlfriend. She has always hung around our group, but never really been a part of it. I've heard her say some extremely bigoted things about minorities, the LGBT community, and non-Christians. She is the type of person who is proud to take advantage of government assistance programs. When she doesn't need it, she somehow was able to claim disability, and has bragged about pulling the wool over the government's eyes. I think she was able to somehow use her obesity problem as her disability. I'm really not sure. I can't really confirm any of this. It could be a lot of talk and bullshit on her end. I've always thought you need to be drug tested in order to get some government benefits, and she does a lot of drugs. Not only does she take advantage of programs meant for people who can't help themselves, but she has sent a couple of $1,000s a month from her rich parents, which she also brags about. Her parents have paid for her car, and I think they pay her rent too, so the money she gets is spent on pretty much whatever she wants. She spends her days getting drunk at the bars and restaurants, My friends and I frequent and will interject herself into our outings. She has also tried to sell us hard drugs in the past and usually mentions that any of us are welcome to her place to get high. Tom apparently started to get high with her at her place and was originally just trying to hide his drug use because he knew I wouldn't approve. Then he started to get high and then have sex with her. He felt guilty and embarrassed about it, but this wasn't enough for him to stop getting high with her. His intentions were to just get high and then leave to go back to his place. But what would usually happen is they would end up having sex once they were both properly high. This woman hated my guts and kept pushing Tom to break up with me so they could be a couple. He didn't want to end things with me, but felt so guilty and disgusted with himself, he thought the best thing to do was to just try to ghost me. Tom kept their relationship secret for a while, until she got tired of their secret relationship status. So she just started to blurt things out about them when his friends were all together at their usual bar. He came clean to his friends about it, but was so embarrassed that he shortly ended things with her after his secret was found out. I only found out about this because the same friend I had met up with a couple of months ago reached out to warn me that Tom is going to try to get back together with me, and felt that I deserved to know the truth in case he isn't forward with what happened. There is no way in hell that I'd get back together with Tom. I can't help but feel like absolute dog shit that Tom would end things with me over that kind of garbage person, and I'm having a hard time understanding why he would choose some waste of space over someone who is actually trying to be a person and is successful. I don't know what to do at this point. I'm dreading the possibility of seeing his face again. I don't know if I could contain my urge to slap him, or if I would just break down and sob. I was doing well from moving on from him. I was starting to feel happy again. Now I think I'm back at square one. I'm depressed and stressed out. Long story short, I emotionally cheated, sexting and flirting with an old friend for a few months. Then I opened our marriage. Now I lost my FWB. My wife has a boyfriend. She's not talking to me, and I'm jealous. Long story. In February, I convinced my wife to open up our marriage, since we have hit a wall in our relationship and I was unhappy. She was on board and almost immediately found a nice guy to talk to. I had already been sexting with this girl for about a month before that. I knew what I was doing was wrong and thought if I opened up our marriage, it would feel better to stop sneaking around. After a month, the guilt ate me up and I admitted it all to my wife. She was obviously pissed and said she needed time to process the emotional cheating. In the days after, when I brought back this information to my FWB, they told me that they were just having fun and didn't want to be involved any longer. Now it's been a month and my wife is still needing space and processing things, so I'm feeling like I'm in limbo with no one. And the relationship my wife has with her guy is now more serious. They call each other partners and say they love each other. She tells me that she wouldn't leave me for him and that he just fills the gaps that I miss. But now I'm feeling jealous because I'm still in the doghouse and he gets to have her all to himself. I thought we were making some progress lately. We spoke a lot more. She requested some sexual things from me. We even fucked once in the past week. But when she pressed me for more information over this past weekend, things took a big step back. I offered to tell her more details about timeline and what exactly me and my FWB did and spoke about. She agreed to listen. And then upon hearing what I had to say, felt even more betrayed. I'm not sure what I can do now to get things moving forward again, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose my wife. Edit 513.25. I'm just so over it at this point. My fiancé, 27F, demanded we open the relationship earlier this year. She told me she wanted to explore a side of her and felt safe doing it with me. I was adamantly against it, but she said she contemplated leaving me, and I broke down. Like a moron, I allowed her to bully me into opening the relationship. It's been 6 months, and now her tune has changed entirely. At first, she was ecstatic. She almost instantly found a guy who she hooked up with. I'm almost 100% sure she was planning on having sex with him anyway, and this was all just a way for her to do it above board. I guess it didn't work out though, because after a month he was gone, and as far as I'm aware she's not found another partner since. At first I planned not to try and find another partner, but my resentment towards her and an opportunity arose, and the next thing I knew I began to see an old friend from college who always seemed to have a crush on me. Instantly my fiancée changed her tune about the whole thing. She never outright told me what she thought, but I know for a fact she resented every moment I was with someone else. I could see it eating her away. I knew it hurt her ego when I would come home from my casual fling with my friend. She never said anything though, until now, last week. Another opportunity arose. An old co-worker I've been talking to asked if I would be DTF. I said sure. When I told fiancé about this, she broke down crying and said she wanted to close the relationship again. Said it made her feel unloved and useless to see me with another woman, and now the prospect of a second is destroying her inside. She tried to use the same tactics she did before. She's gaslighting and using emotional manipulation to try and get out of this. Last night, she tried to bully me again into closing the relationship. I told her I would think about it, but right now this is the bed she made, and she needs to learn to sleep in it. She ended up calling her mother sometime last night, as well as I woke up to dozens of texts from her parents telling me I'm horrible. I'm going to call off the marriage this week and break up with her. I'm going to continue seeing my old college friend, because at least she's not a lying, manipulative bitch. I 17 turn 18 in 2 weeks, and I'm getting the fuck out of here as soon as the clock strikes midnight. My parents have extreme bias towards my younger brothers, 16 and 15 min. It's been like this forever. I have no idea why. I've always been the one who had to do all the chores in the house. I also have always been forced to play every single sport I possibly could, to the point where my schedule was packed 365 days a year. My father told me it would teach me to be a real man, but my brothers never had to do any of that shit. They're both fat, lazy fucks who sit around and play video games all day and all night. They miss school at least 30% of the year and are constantly spoiled rotten by my parents. They already have thousands of dollars from birthdays, Christmas and other holidays. As soon as I turned 12, I was told I would no longer ever be receiving any gifts from my parents other than bare essentials. I was told I had to pay for my phone and any other expenses I wanted to own, and to never ever ask for anything. I wasn't able to own a phone or anything really special for myself until I was 16 because I couldn't find any actual jobs that paid good money. My parents also expect me to take care of my younger brothers when I'm an adult. My younger brothers have both decided they will not be going to college and do not plan on working a day in their lives. My father told me, "We kept you alive, you owe it to us, fuck you." I'm leaving a nasty letter on the table when I leave and changing my phone number, emails and everything. They will never be able to contact me no matter how hard they try. I know my younger brothers are going to be screwed for life since they have zero experience on how to survive in the real world, but I don't care. That's my parents' burden now. I hope they go broke from having to fund my brothers' lifestyles, and I hope they lose everything. I have no sympathy for these people, and I will never feel bad no matter what happens to them. The only thing I owe to my parents is the fact that, because of the shitty treatment over the years, I am well capable of surviving on my own in the world. I'll be going to college to study finance in Virginia. They have no idea I've been accepted to any college, never even asked. And I'm also very physically fit due to playing 6 sports a year. However, the trauma will never go away. They took away my entire childhood, and I will never forgive them for it. They can all go fuck themselves. Update. I'm happy to report that I am officially gone. So the last 2 weeks after I made this post have been crazy stressful, but I'll sum them up here. I changed my number a few days ago by calling my SIM card provider. Then I went and got a copy of my birth certificate since I don't know where my actual birth certificate was. I couldn't just ask my parents. And I also made sure to check that my bank account was secure and not shared with my parents. I purchased a plane ticket last week to fly into Dulles International Airport in Virginia, just outside of where I'll be attending college in Fairfax. Finally, I called one of my cousins, whom I am very close with, and asked him to please pick me up at around 12:30 a.m. last night. He agreed with my decision to leave and told me he was proud of me for taking action to improve my life. I packed my stuff up after everyone had gone to sleep and waited. I decided to keep my note to my family short and sweet. All I wrote down was that I was moving to go to college in California and that I was never coming back. So last night my cousin picked me up. We went to the police station where I gave them my proper identification and informed them that I am not missing and am leaving on my own accord now that I am 18. They told me they'll keep it in mind and will watch out for that potential call in the next few days. I got a few hours of sleep at my cousin's and then flew out of New Orleans International at 6 a.m. I am now sitting in my college dorm, 950 miles from home, and I've never been happier in my life. I can't wait to meet new people and finally enjoy my youth. Thank you to everyone who gave me great advice on here and commented their support. I didn't expect this post to take off like it did, but I'm happy my story has affected so many. I will update again in a few weeks. Update. Damn. This post took off again these past 2 days. My phone has been blowing up with demands for an update, so I shall deliver. Life has been good. I've been in contact with the cousin who helped me, and also a few other family members from back home. He said that my mother came to their house the day after I left to talk to my aunt about me leaving. She cried and gave my aunt this whole sob story about how she can't believe I would abandon them, and my aunt told her maybe she shouldn't have treated me so wrongly throughout my whole life, which caused a huge fight and ended with my mum being thrown out of their house. So it seems me leaving has caused pretty much the uproar I imagined. I've been doing well, met plenty of new people, and made friends via classes and dorm neighbours. I'm in a better mental state than I've been in a very long time. I feel so relieved, and it just feels like a huge weight has lifted off my shoulders. It feels so good coming on here and reading all the support and positive comments I'm receiving. I'm really grateful for this community. I will continue posting updates in weeks to come. Thanks for everything, everyone. As promised, I am here for another update. I waited a long time in between updates to really let my life unfold, so I could fill you guys in on a lot. Things have been great. I went back into my hometown for Thanksgiving and Christmas to spend time with my aunts, uncles and cousins, literal blocks away from my parents' house, but they are not welcome at those events anymore, so I wasn't worried. They still don't know where I am or what I'm up to, and have apparently given up on trying, which I'm perfectly happy about. College has been great, made lots of new friends, and have been keeping the grades up 3.9 GPA. I love my new life, honestly. I never went to therapy or anything, despite numerous suggestions from some of you, but I feel like I've done well enough without it. I've learned in these months how resilient I really am. I got 2 jobs on the side at different restaurants in the town around campus, mostly dishwashing and working on salads. Simple stuff, but I'm making enough side cash to provide for myself. Since I got a free ride to JMU, I don't have to worry about a college savings account or anything, so that's a huge plus. Thanks for all the continued support and comments over the last few months while I've been silent. I hope you guys enjoy the update. I'll be back someday. Much love. Just a reminder that this is a repost, and I am not the OP. I am flaring this, concluded as OP has escaped his abusive family and made it safely to his college. I grew up in a family where silence was safety and where I had to shrink myself to avoid conflict. My father is a narcissist, controlling, emotionally unavailable, and dismissive. My mother, while not abusive in the same way, enabled his behaviour and often manipulated me emotionally to keep me where she wanted me. My older sister has always been toxic too. She finds joy in provoking me and making me feel small. Since childhood, I felt like I had no real emotional space in my family. I was the quiet kid, always watching, always observing, but never feeling like I could just be. Even small things like laughing too loudly, speaking my mind, or expressing emotions felt dangerous. I learned to suppress myself, to avoid confrontation, to just exist as invisibly as possible. But what has made things worse in recent years is the fact that my father has a child from an affair. He brings this child to our house constantly, and every time I see them, I get triggered. Not because of the child itself, but because of what they represent: freedom, joy, love, everything I was denied. When this child laughs, plays, and takes up space without fear, it reminds me of how I was never allowed to be like that. I feel myself getting angry, resentful, and overwhelmed by memories of my own childhood. At 22, I finally moved out with my sister, thinking that this would be my escape. But after just a few months, we both moved back home. I don't even fully understand why. Maybe it was financial, maybe emotional manipulation, or maybe just fear of truly stepping into my own independence. But now, I feel trapped all over again. I work for my father's business, which adds another layer of control. I feel emotionally drained every day, and I struggle to even imagine a life where I'm truly free. I know I need to leave. I know this environment is toxic, but I also feel paralyzed by fear, by financial concerns, by the weight of my past. I've spent so long existing in survival mode that I don't even know what it's like to live for myself. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this little mix of Minecraft and Reddit drama. It was a fun one. Let me know in the comments if you're into this kind of content. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. See you soon.